Okay, so it's kind of appropriate that I'm making this video today because I've lately been kind of on edge and anxious about my life. We all experience varying degrees of stress every day, and these might stem from our work, relationships, or any of the other countless aspects of our daily life. In my case, I've often found myself falling into deep spirals of anxiety about my life and the direction that it's headed in. Yet, somehow I find a way to pull myself out of it and continue moving forward. And perhaps the secret sauce to this has been me honing my relationship with mindfulness. It's a work in progress, but so far it's kind of working for me. If you find yourself feeling regularly stressed out or anxious, keep watching, because I hope that some of what I might share might help you too. Let me start by saying that meditation is not an absolute cure for stress. It's more of a channel for realization and acceptance. Stress is an integral part of life, and those challenges can sometimes be crucial for our growth and breaking out of our comfort zone. Mindfulness is simply a guide to help us choose our responses and cope with it. That's the key, responding, not reacting. To help with this, it would be fitting to understand what mindfulness professor Jon Kabat-Zinn calls the stress reaction cycle. We begin a stress cycle when we face any kind of stress that could be external, which is generally physical or health-wise. Then there are internal stressors, which are thoughts and emotions. These stressors combine and affect us throughout our body from head to toe, which is why you can often see intense stress as resulting in deteriorating health like elevated blood pressure or hair loss. Normally, we tend to react to these stressors with a fight or flight reaction, which is where we either push back against it or repress it and run away from our problems. Not a good thing in any way. When we internalize this pain and walk through life with a smile on, your body still knows and experiences the stress through things like headaches, sleep disorders, inflammation, etc. It's pretty rough. And that's why when this happens, we seek what's called maladaptive coping, which is where we overwork ourselves to distract our mind or drink more and eat in excess, anything that can help us mask the pain that we're feeling and cope with it. This maladaptive coping only adds more and more stress because of how negative it is and compounds the problem, resulting in this vicious cycle that can spiral out of control for a long time. And while it may feel normal and regular on a day-to-day basis, eventually this bubble is going to pop, which breaks us down completely and results in deep depression. Now, there is an alternative to the stress reaction cycle through the form of the mindful mediated stress response. So instead of a mindless automatic reaction, you develop an awareness of what is happening and catch yourself by realizing that you have a whole plethora of options to respond to what is going on, instead of simply thinking that you are a victim of the stressor and you have no options. This is not to say that you won't experience stress because you're being mindful, but instead you dampen down what could otherwise grow into something very intense. All of this awareness will help you pay attention to your body, the context of the situation, your emotions. This helps you distinguish your feelings as your thoughts and emotions, not as the fact of the situation, but simply as what you're feeling with regard to it. So, if you take nothing else from this video, know that mindfulness and dropping in will help remind you that the thing that you're feeling that's stressing you out and giving you anxiety is just a thought in your head. It's not a fact. And when we realize that, maybe we'd respond a little differently to that thought than we would have otherwise. That's when new options will start to arise due to the calmness of your approach. So, by virtue of you maintaining your calm, a situation which might not have seemed like it had any other options will end up presenting options to you in the end. So how do you drop into the present moment instead of becoming a slave to your thoughts and emotions? Well, the concept of dropping in is something that you can do when you realize that things are getting a little out of control in your head. It's kind of like taking a ball and literally dropping it into the present moment. So your mind may be all over the place, thinking about work, thinking about that person, thinking about that payment that you have to make, but if you just drop in, you stop and take a breath and come back to the present. Just stop, take a breath, and drop. You know, this channel is all about being productive and managing your time efficiently to get stuff done, particularly the stuff that truly matters. And we're always facing deadlines, which is by default the nature of life. But all it takes to help you is to remember to take a breath and drop into the present instead of letting your mind run so fast that it escapes you. I found that this slowing down gives me a moment to see the bigger picture when I'm having a moment of insanity and actually shape my perspective a lot better. The core of any mindfulness practice is always to return to your breath. So, whatever the agitation is, your breath will always be with you. Well, until it isn't, and then it won't matter. But as long as you're alive, you can always take a pause and find that moment for yourself. And this certainly isn't the easiest thing in the world. Mindfulness is not easy. It might be simple in concept, but it's not easy. That's why I'm practicing when I can, so I can get better. Thank you for watching. Thank you again to Jon Kabat-Zinn for everything that was discussed in this video. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for me one time, and I'll see you next week.